Tzu Chi volunteers drove a water truck to provide clean water to Ormoc Great Love villagers. Tzu Chi North District Assistive Device Platform provides an easy access to refurbished devices. Welcome to the headlines and Megita. Thank you for joining us. This year, the dry season in the Philippines has extended. The local government was unable to provide enough water supplies to the villagers. Hence, Tzu Chi loaded a truck of clean water to solve the urgent need for local residents. The water truck drove out slowly to go on a mission to rescue the thirsty people. Under the hot weather, volunteers pull out the water pipe. This year, Philippines' dry season was longer than before, and everyone is waiting for this truck of water.
The government can't supply us with enough water regularly, so basically we are often lacking water. We are thankful to Tzu Chi to bring us water.
The red and white truck has a huge Tzu Chi logo on it. The story behind it was full of great love. The compassionate love has helped many local residents. 16,000 liters of clear water is enough for every household.
The water Tzu Chi provided is clear and clean. We are grateful.
The plates in the sink have been there for a while, and now they can finally wash them all. The water has relieved every family's urgent need, and Ormoc City Congressman expressed gratitude to Tzu Chi volunteers on his Facebook.
During the epidemic, water is an inevitable resource. We are glad to offer water to local residents.
As the pandemic is still serious in the Philippines, volunteers not only brought water but also comforts for people's hearts. The truck and the Jin's aphorisms cards have calmed everyone's fear. Tzu Chi Vietnam Liaison Office has hosted 8 distributions in Ho Chi Minh City for 6 days consecutively to help about 2,000 underprivileged families, as each of them received food supplies and about $40 of subsidies. The blue food bags and white rice bags have piled up like a small mountain.
Nấu mì sợi, tổng cộng là gần 8 kg. Gì ghê vậy Trang, sách nổi. Đâu có sách nổi, bây giờ mới có tình nguyện viên theo sách nổi nè.
In Vietnam, the Ho Chi Minh City Union of Friendship Organization sent out invitations to ask Tzu Chi to support the disadvantaged people.
During the pandemic, I can't sell any of my lottery tickets and life is difficult. These rice and food are a great help.
To face the epidemic, the government has distributed about $20 monthly to the disadvantaged people for 3 months consecutively. Tzu Chi Foundation has also provided each of them about $40, which has made everyone extremely happy.
Volunteers assisted the blind people to walk carefully and keep a social distance. They pulled a cart with rice bags on it to help relieve the need of people. Some rice bags got a hole on it, and volunteers used the threads for tightening up the bag to fix the holes. There's also a couple who seized the time to volunteer during the epidemic.
Seeing every one of them come receive the aid supplies joyfully and cheerfully, I felt so much more satisfied doing charity than going to travel.
Dante Vaughn, who makes a living by selling lottery tickets, has touched the volunteers deeply.
I will start to donate $5 every month. Who knows if we can live for tomorrow or not? So we should serve joyfully every day we can. If I can do it, I will. I hope I can attend many Tzu Chi activities in the future. Like today, I can see, so I can help people who cannot.
Distributions were held in 8 different locations in Vietnam for 6 days. On the tuk-tuk car, the recipients were full loaded with aid supplies and a joyful heart on the return trip. Carmen Velasquez, one of the sponsors of the Hope Brigade of New York, is the Supreme Court judge for the state of New York from Ecuador. After the 2016 Ecuadorian earthquake, she learned about Tzu Chi's disaster relief. Therefore, she actively contacted Tzu Chi New York chapter to work together to help the Hispanic immigrants.
La Brigada de Esperanza Nueva York nació en el mes de abril.
The Hope Brigade of New York began in April. People with good hearts joined together to help those most in need, giving priority to those infected with COVID-19.
Hoy día, como muchos días, nos reunimos un grupo de voluntarios a elaborar canastas para 50 familias.
It's for whole family with between 4 and 9 members in single household.
For those who are in quarantine, we fill the bags with groceries so they can go home and cook. Whoever has more food can share with those who don't.
If you don't have food, call us. If you have food to spare, call the brigade and give us what you can. I'm Judge Carmen Velasquez. I'm a Supreme Court judge for the state of New York. The epidemic-affected area in the United States is in my neighborhood. As an elected official, I can't think that I can just sit and do nothing.
Okay. Continúa por 80th Street, media milla. Cuando vamos saliendo, vamos llamando. ¿Cómo está?
It's Nancy Titana from Hope Brigade. I'm calling to inform you that we will arrive in about 10 to 12 minutes to leave the bags of the food on your doorstep.
Fuimos a visitar a una señora y hacemos la entrega.
We came to visit a woman but kept our distance. We're from Hope Brigade and we brought you some food. There are people who are afraid simply because they had a really bad experience with the police or other groups. They see our uniforms, our logo, who we are, and they come out. How could we possibly have the courage to ask if they have papers or not? We're not cops, we're not government officials. Yes, I'm a Supreme Court judge, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be looking out for who's who. We come to help our community. We've helped over 10,000 people. We're with Tzu Chi Foundation on Saturday.
I had a food pantry in Tzu Chi office for 2 years in Flushing area. That's why I pop up the idea we can have a food distribution in Corona area. We have 25 volunteers repacking.
We've been provided raincoats for the people. We're going to do it. This is a true testament of loving to the community. 2 organizations who really work hard. 100. Okay.
I'm glad to work with Judge Carmen. She have very organized for this distribution.
We have approximately 300 families. We don't want them to line up for long queue and to avoid large crowds. Everything is need to be organized using timetables and text messages.
I live here in the Jackson Heights area. Most of the people here lost their jobs more than 2 months ago, like me. I've been out of work for more than 2 months. I have 4 children. This help is for people in need, and that's good.
They lost a job, they need food. We have a lot of fresh produce today. Also, with our volunteers' love, inside have the 20 masks for each family.
The Hope Brigade thought there may be a lot of people will show up today without registering first. That's why you see on my left side, there's a van with food, so no one will walk away empty-handed.
Estaba caminando por aquí, no estaba registrado, pero
I was walking around and I hadn't registered, but thank God, I was able to get some groceries. In 2017, my husband passed away and I was left with 3 children. In the beginning, I gave them 2 meals, but now thanks to the meals I receive, I can provide breakfast and snacks. They're going to be so happy today. We woke up early to help our community. We have foundations like Tzu Chi that are helping us.
Without you, Tzu Chi, we cannot serve this community. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Today, for example, I've got 15 bags out of the 40 we packed, and 4 people went out to distribute. Good afternoon, I'm calling from the Hope Brigade of New York. My name is Veronica. We're on our way to deliver a bag of fresh produce.
My last day of work was on March 13th. There's no income. I needed food, and apart from that, I couldn't go out. I needed to self-quarantine.
Todavía no, pero ya puedo estar un poco más tiempo sin el oxígeno.
Perfecto. Ok. Cualquier cosa, démonos otra llamadita, ¿no?
Muchas gracias. Hay mucha gente humanitaria.
Because of these humanitarian aid and volunteers' assistance, I've been able to sustain myself.
El compromiso de las personas que están.
The commitment of people who are well is to try and help people who aren't. We have to get out of this together. If you cannot go out, you must be responsible for yourself, but you must reach out to those in need. Today we're not an individual, today we're a group. We can't sit in place on our thrones and let time pass. Our slogan is, "Migrant brother, you're not alone." We live it and decided to stay to do everything possible to support that.
United States San Jose Tzu Chi volunteers made fabrics, masks, and delivered to places in need. Volunteers delivered the fabric mask for a 71-year-old Catholic sister who established a charity NGO that helps to educate the women in Africa and in Haiti, sending love and care to places in need. We're packing and delivering these fabric masks to the elder Catholic sisters, giving them our love and care.
I've been a sister for over 50 years, and my current ministry is working in South Sudan, Haiti. We work only with women and girls. We work only in places of rural, extreme poverty. And we're trying to educate women and girls for leadership, particularly refugee women in camps, start businesses so that they can become more self-sufficient. Today, 4 of the volunteers from Tzu Chi in San Jose brought 5 large boxes, probably close to 1,000 masks that I'm going to be distributing in Haiti, in retirement homes for sisters. I do believe we're going to be facing COVID for a long time. And these masks are washable, they're well made, and they're coming to us free. What a tremendous partnership. The deeper you go into any religious tradition, the more common ground you find. I really believe, if the Buddha and Jesus had lived in the same century, they would have been great friends. It was all about compassion. And so I'm both delighted and grateful to have been connected with Tzu Chi.
In 2018, the Tzu Chi North District Assistive Device Platform was officially established, and hence the second-handed assistive device became more easily accessible. Let's see how these used devices were refurbished.
早上我们先去3支，然后等一个曹太太，那她带我们去石门，去收一张病床，那还有一个便盆椅。 那我们收回来，等一下会拿回巴黎仓库，我会做个清洁消毒的工作。
Some people are willing to go around to collect second-hand assistive devices, while some are happy to donate.
This bed is new. Since I'm afraid I'll damage it as I wrap it like this, I'm going to donate all these, including the diapers, to the people in need. This is a spring bed for bed sores.
As long as you are willing to do so, this then would not be a matter for you.
我们拿氧气瓶跟那个，你们是XL 的吗 ？XL 的。
Tzu Chi volunteers send second-hand assistive devices to the family in need and teach them the correct usage.
这个是给你万一停电或紧急，比如或是你要回诊，路上可以用，那你也是 open 是逆时针。
住院回家照顾需要一些医疗。
When my husband is discharged from the hospital, one needs some medical equipment to take care of him at home, but I don't know where to get it. I'm very grateful for Tzu Chi brothers and Tzu Chi's assistance, so that I can have a peace of mind now.
Volunteers have different tasks every day. For example, to deliver an electric bed which is worth hundreds of thousands to the home of a cancer patient undergoing chemotherapy.
Because the bones of my feet have shrunk, it will be very painful when I adjust my posture to get out from the spring bed at home. It will be better for me to use an electric bed.
Tzu Chi's delivery of second-hand assistive devices not only help the disadvantaged, but are also environmental friendly. The device can be reused after refurbishment and disinfection.
我们都把它擦干净。
We'll clean all devices with disinfectant before handing it over to the next user, so we'll feel more at ease and do not worry about infection.
有其他的感染之类的。轮胎换好之后，我们有时候。
After changing the tires on the wheelchair, sometimes we'll sit on it and try to see if the brake still works.
It is found that the second-hand assistive devices can have another life, which is due to the blessings of various volunteers.
According to domestic research data, about 20% of seniors over the age of 65 suffer from anemia. Some purchase iron supplements themselves without checking with the doctors first. Is it the right move? Here's our report. Feeling dizzy, having bad appetite, and reduced body strength, some may doubt to have anemia after watching TV commercial.
Seniors get dizzy easier, and he may think that he has anemia. However, it's not definitely correct because there are too many reasons causing dizziness. It might be because of the ear problem or brain neuron problem.
Some people don't clarify their symptoms first and go ahead to purchase iron supplements, vitamin B12, and folic acid, trying to improve the anemia condition.
It might be bone marrow issues, thyroid problems, or inflammatory that cause anemia. In these kinds of situations, iron supplement and folic acid won't help.
Among the seniors that have anemia, only 1/10 of them are caused by iron deficiency. We must analyze the body's warning sign more cautiously when we experience anemia.
When you grow older, it's easy to have all kinds of cancers. At this period, your blood are slowly losing, and it will cause iron deficiency. However, if you just treat iron deficiency, it might seem the problem solved, but the actual tumor still exists. And if it keeps on worsening, you will delay the prime time to treat it.
The causes of anemia are various, and one must check with the doctors to confirm. If you're diagnosed of iron deficiency anemia, you can increase your vitamin C intake, which can improve your absorbing rate of irons in fruits and vegetables. Due to the pandemic, traditional Chinese medicine has once again regained the attention of the public, and these traditional herbs are facing shortages in many countries as more people are starting to consume them for prevention measures. Although the pairs of raw herbs have increased, but the prices of the Chinese patent medicine are still stable because many large pharmaceutical companies have absorbed the increasing cost.
I'm now at Shengchang Pharmaceuticals Company storage warehouse. The traditional medicines are very abundant here, with over 600 tons of herbs, the Mongolian milk vac, Japanese honeysuckle, fish mint, and Chinese licorice. which are scarce in the market, are also stockpiled in this warehouse. There's nothing to worry about resources. Last December, when COVID-19 pandemic was first discovered in China, many traditional medicine factories have already made preparations, increasing their storage from 3 months to 6 months.
All the bigger factories that export traditional medicines like Shengchang, Kodak, Shentian, Zhuangshongrong, and Kaiser have all made early preparations to face the increasing demands of herbs.
The sources for bigger medicine companies in the country were not affected, but the import price has increased drastically.
We do not want to take advantage of this pandemic and make a fortune out of it. We will absorb the increasing cost, but we will never increase our selling price to the public.
As we head to the Chinese medicine shop to investigate, the prices of all Chinese patent medicine prescriptions remained the same during the pandemic.
The price of these Chinese patent medicines are relatively stable thanks to the suppliers.
What's the difference between Chinese patent medicine and the traditional Chinese medicine soup? I'm at the Shengchang pharmaceutical factory right now. As you can see, there are 4 big traditional Chinese medicine boilers above my head. Through high temperature boiling, they are able to turn these herbs into concentrated Chinese medicine.
The Chinese patent medicines are formed when stretch excipients is added into the concentrated Chinese medicines. Once it's examined and meet the qualification requirements, then we will start the packaging process.
The general public will need a doctor's prescription to buy the Chinese patent medicine, so there's no panic buying issues. However, the government did not impose any restriction on raw herbs, so many people rushed to buy them.
Due to the pandemic, many people would head to Chinese medicine shop, buy these herbs such as the Japanese honeysuckle, and boil by themselves to consume.
According to our research, before the pandemic, in the Taiwanese medicine market, 66% of the people consume Western medicine. 32% of them consume a mixture of both Western and traditional Chinese medicine. 1.3% of them only consume traditional Chinese medicine. From that, we can learn that Taiwanese mainly rely on Western medicine. There's still no Western medicine which is proven to be able to cure the COVID-19 virus. Hence, many turn towards traditional Chinese medicine for prevention.
Of course, the pandemic is so serious, it makes me feel relieved.
During this pandemic, Chinese medicine shops are a big part of the Taiwanese people's life, which can't be separated.
In the past 20 years, the number of Chinese medicine shops decreased from 15,000 to 8,000. On average, 10% of these shops are being closed down each year. However, due to the pandemic, this declining industry has once again regained the attention of the public.
In China, traditional medicine has become very limited, and in the US, the price of the Japanese honeysuckle has skyrocketed. But in Taiwan, we have been controlling the prices, so the increase is not so drastic.
95% of the traditional medicine in Taiwan are imported. Therefore, the market price all depends on the fluctuation of the prices overseas.
These medicines have an expiry date, so if you pile them up till next year, they might expire and they will lose their medical properties.
Traditional Chinese medicine can be used to tune our body and strengthen our immune system. However, we must also seek medical advice from doctors as to not overconsume these traditional herbs.
As the pandemic slowly got under control, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital staff and Northern District volunteers worked together to clean a room to welcome medical volunteers back. Take a look and see you next time.